how to set up a sight tape, this tutorial is for you. This one specifically is going to be for an HHA Tetra Kingpin. It's a really nice little rig that I like. The sight that I have here has 4 pins for hunting, but a nice feature is that you can also set up the tape so that it slides. So you can shoot anywhere you want using the top pin. So 20 yards all the way out to 100 just by turning the wheel, and then lock it back into the initial sight, so like 20 yards. And then you can use your bottom 3 pins too for hunting situations. So a nice mix between like a tack event and also hunting. The first step, take off the old tape. This was set up with smaller arrows, so now I gotta adjust that. I gotta put the setup tape back on so that we can set it up. In order to do that, you have to just kind of get in there, right? And take that tape off, right? Comes all the way off the wheel, so we can put a setup tape back on. The old tape came off without a problem, and the setup tape is still on there, which is nice. One thing we want to make sure we don't move though is that wheel when we start. We already set up all 4 pins. So now we just want to record the number at 20, and then we want to shoot at 60. We want to record the number on the setup tape for 20 yards because we already dialed that in. For this situation, it's 4. So now we go back it up to 60 yards and we figure out at which number 60 yards is. And then we just subtract the higher number from the lower number, and that's the number of tape that we need to use. HHA provides you with these tapes, but you can get them online as well. ArchersAdvantageOnline.com will do that as well. We'll print them out for you. So now we're going to shoot at 60 yards using the top pin. The previous setup with the smaller diameter arrows, my number was 39. So it'll be interesting to see what we come up with now that I went with a much larger arrow, a higher FOC. Hit the target. Right there I was aiming at like sort of the top of the target just to make sure that it hit something. Now I'll aim dead center. Right now on the setup I'm at 55. Looks pretty good. I feel like I'm just a little bit high. So all we have to do, loosen this. We want it to shoot not quite as far, so we turn it back a little bit. So right now I'm at 50, I was at 55. That looked really good. Make sure you're pretty strong when you go and do this, like you're not tired, because this actually is pretty important. You want to make sure you're accurate for this. Pretty good. A little bit high at first, as you can see with this guy and this one. So that grouping is not too bad from 60. But then when I made the adjustment, here's where my last 2 arrows were. So looks really good. I'll probably take a few more shots just to make sure, and then probably call 50 good on the setup tape. go check and see how we did. Looks like my grouping was pretty good from 60 yards. A little high a couple times, a little low a couple times. One time right in the middle. A little consistently right, but honestly not by a lot. And I was at an angle here, so I'm gonna give myself a little bit of a break. But I think it's good enough to call that number good. 20 yards was at 4 on the setup tape, and 60 yards is at the 50. So 50 minus 4 would be 46. So my tape is 46. With every HHA sight comes a whole assortment. Got additional setup tapes. Then you also have all of the different combinations. Not everybody has the same draw length, weight, everything, right? So this one is going to be the 46. And the biggest thing here is to make sure that we put the 20 yards here, 20 yard mark, we put it on 4 on the setup tape because we knew that that was at 20 yards. That's probably the most critical part of this whole process at the end here. If you remember, we were at 39 before and now we're at 46. And as you can tell, the lower the number, the further out you can shoot. So pretty big difference by literally just changing the arrows. I'm going to take the tape off. I'm going to turn this dial all the way back until it reads 4. Tighten it. From there, go ahead and make sure my 20 is right on the needle. And just spin it around, make sure she's tight. If it's not tight, you can get some water in there. That's how you set up a sight with a slider. So let's test out that sight installation here. We got the first shot through the woods, 45 yards. Then we just turn it right to the exact yardage. Use that top pin. Let's drill it. Target's really hard to see because there's a lot of vegetation in front of it. That's how we do it. Second target, 62 yards. See if we knock her down. Got him. As you can tell, pretty difficult to see that target. A lot of this vegetation in the way, especially on this first one. And as you look further, that other one, he is just as difficult. But first one, height-wise, was pretty good, so I feel good about the distance. Second shot was a little low, but again, it's a lot more difficult in the woods.